mid-Atlantic islands to the South Pacific seas. In the name of the Queen of England, sailed in James Cook, just the captain was he, courting the king and queen of Polynesia.
That's so beautiful, Uncle.
Aloha. Aloha.
Right on, guys. You guys are rock stars. Thank you, Uncle Liko. Thank you, Laulani.
We got this.
All right. Yeah, we got this. Yeah, we're going to call out Renee. Please come up. And then after that is Ali, Uncle Paul Nevis will come up and share. And then Tita Momi, Nuuhiva, the first tree. So, yep. Right on that mic. You can sit down on it. Okay. There, use this mic. Yeah.
Aloha. My name is Renee Robinson. I'm from Kailua Kona.
Okay, we're having open mic again, everybody. So please, maka'ala ya kako, okay? So our first recipient is Renee. So can we have you guys' attention, please? Keawalau.
Mahalo. So I'm Renee Robinson. I live in Kailua Kona. And I attended an event in Waimea. And actually, no, it was at the heiau across the highway from the road that goes up to the top of Mauna Kea. And there was a gathering of a lot of people. And this gentleman was at the back holding the Hawaiian flag, and it was breezy. And I'm tall, so I didn't want to block people's view. So I went and stood by him. And my hands were freezing. So he has the red and black jacket that's in a lot of the pictures here. And I asked if I could rub my hands on it to warm my hands, and he said yes. And so then we got acquainted, and I found out that he wanted to come to Kona for a bit. Anyway, we were getting acquainted, and I found out that his birthday was the same day as my dad's, who had passed in 2004. And I knew that my dad said, you need to be friends with this person and support him. So he started coming, and it varied, but it got to where he would come on Friday afternoon and leave Monday afternoon, so he could use my internet and he could use my TV to watch UH sports and other sports because he lived off the grid. And so Ku was just an awesome, awesome guy. We had so much fun. He slept on my couch because I lived in a little daylight basement in Ohana. My landlord fell in love with him, did not raise my rent. And then he and Ku would, one of them would buy a pie, some kind of pie at Costco, and they'd split it. And so they would take turns contributing food to each other. Ku also liked ice cream. And he filled my freezer with ice cream. However, I had to educate him about a brand of ice cream. So about 78, 79, I was living in Oregon, and they asked me to go to Tillamook Hospital because I was a registered dietitian at the time, and they wanted me to help them get through their first Joint Commission. And I'm very proud to say they passed. And I fell in love with Tillamook cheese and Tillamook ice cream. Now, after a couple of years, I said, could you please move me back to Portland? I don't want to marry a dairy farmer. So that's a whole nother story. So I introduced Ku to Tillamook ice cream. OMG. There would be anywhere from 3 to 6 flavors in my freezer at all times. So he was my hero. He came, like I say, it started gradually, but he was coming every weekend, and he was just we just tag teamed so well. And he slept on the couch, and unfortunately, he had his stroke on my couch. And I'd heard a noise in the middle of the night, but I didn't know what it was, and I was sleeping, and you know, whatever. So part of me feels really bad that I didn't get up and check on him. But anyway, I didn't want him to go to Kona Hospital because in October, my landlord had fallen and broken his shoulder. And he went in there to be assessed, and they did 3 surgeries down here, and he died there. So I don't want to take him to Kona. But the EMTs wouldn't let me take him to Waimea, so he was in Kona. And God bless that man. He was just, you know, I loved him dearly. He was just a good friend, and I'm sad he's passed, but I also know that he's supporting us from the other side. So mahalo.
Thank you, Renee. What was the name of that ice cream again?
Tillamook.
Tillamook. Okay, I'm going to look it up. Google, here we come. Tillamook. Okay, Tillamook. All right. Thank you, Renee. All right, everybody. Our next extinguished guest to come up and share some now is the one, the only, from Moku Keawe. Ali Uncle Paul Nevis, everybody. No, I said extinguished or distinguished? I thought I said distinguished. Did I say distinguished? I said extinguished. Hey, at least he was paying attention. Right on, Uncle. Sorry. I meant to say, you know what I meant to say. How did I say extinguished? Oh, wait. I'm sorry, Uncle. You know that was all in love, buddy. Call it way up. Okay, let's try this again. The distinguished Uncle Paul Nevis, everybody.
I love it. I'll have to say that to my wife when I go home. My extinguished wife. That comes right from Uncle Ching's party. I love it. We should do this as bloopers someday. Sovereignty bloopers. Aloha kako. Aloha. Sometimes they call us undertakers because we look like undertakers. Now we're firemen. Hey, we moving up, man. Working for the county. My name is Paul Nevis. I'm the Ali Noyo. The Order Kamehameha was created April 11th, 1865 by Kamehameha V. Kamehameha V had one of the strongest constitutions that the kingdom ever had. It is the constitution that they overthrew or forced the bayonet to in 1887. It never survived because of, we know. Shouldn't even be talking about it anymore. If we don't have the education, print it. Can we move on now? Because we should all know it. And our children should all know it. No excuse. Anyway, in 2023, the Order Kamehameha reinstituted an old custom. And the custom was to award what we call Ku Kani'o Award. Ku Kani'o is to say patriot. But not the kind of patriotism that the Americans and the whoever's talk about patriotism. Our patriotism was aloha for the land. And aloha for our people. It wasn't how many guns you had, who you shot lately. It was generosity. How much you gave. And this morning, this afternoon as well, heard the family just talk how much he gave. Everybody, how much he gave. So in 2023, April 11th, we honored people like Kekuni Blaisdell. Yeah, Kekuni Blaisdell taught me how to honi. 1985. I thought the bugger was going to kiss me. I said, Kaliko, what's wrong with that guy? He wants to put his nose there. Kaliko goes, no, it's the old custom. What old custom? And Kekuni, as you folks that had the opportunity to know Kekuni, was adamant about Hawaiian independence. Adamant. Always spoke of it. Hounded us at Kalaui's convention or the Constitutional Convention. In 1986, when I met Uncle Ku, Clarence Ching, OHA trustee, he came with a guy named Manu Kahaiali'i. Remember Manu? That's brother's father, the musician's father. And they both sat against the wall at Malia Pukokalani's Catholic Hall because the state, nobody would allow us to have a meeting. We were still considered seditious. Can you imagine? But the church did because of Genesis Leloy. Anyway, these two guys were sleeping in Kamehameha. Every time I look at Malia Hall, I go, oh yeah, man. Well, that was back in the day. Was Skippy, Patrick Keawalau, Henry Awai, Lawrence Lurback, Martina Whitehead. We had some crazy people. Somebody just passed away. What is his name from Nanakuli? Waianae. Uncle Black. Hoala Kanawai. Break open the law. Man, I was just one kid that thought, are we going to vote for mayor now? What the hell are these people talking about? Anyway, the two guys sleeping against the wall. I tell Genesis. He says, Genesis was my mentor. Genesis Leloy. So Uncle Genesis, there's two guys sleeping against the wall. He says, quiet. They're all trustees. So on the way down here, I got my kawai ola. Hey, if you're from Oahe, hey, come on, you should know this already, right? So don't get all in a fluff, right? They shouldn't. They live close by, but you know. My daughter says, Dad, look. Oh, kawai ola. 50 years of activism. I went, 45 was trying to find out where they was. I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to Ku's party. And the two guys against the wall, one was Ku, and one was Manu Kahaiali'i. And Manu Kahaiali'i, his excuse was, oh, he had a gig. The bug was a good musician, you know. The son learned well from the father. Good musician. We had, what was the other guy's excuse? And it was Clarence. And Clarence was, he had this, you know, your dad or the kids. Your father had a way of lounging. Yeah? I mean, when Ku took the lounge, you know, he was relaxing. He wasn't sitting up, looking at notes. He had that serene, like, yeah, give the man a throne. Give him a throne. And so Genesis said, you know, Manu, he's a musician. But Ching's got brains. You know, every time Uncle Ku would close his eyes, you know how many hearings we went? I wanted to close mine just for sleep. He was thinking. He was always a step ahead. And you know, Freitas, you're here, and you guys are here, and you know, you're here. And I was just talking to Lori, and you here. We now kupuna, folks. You know the guys who do the march, telemarch, their time march. Our time is to be the vision of the kupuna that taught us. Because if you're going to let them march leaderless, shame on us. Shame on us. Give them that. Go and walk by them. Tell them, this is how. This is how. I'm so proud of all of you that did the uloa. Man, that was the first thing that I've ever seen us do where I never have to ask you to do them. I would never have to plead, please, would you please? You know, you guys just did it. And not only did you do it, you convinced the DLNR. You convinced them. You know how many years we had guys that started with us and retired, and they never were convinced. You guys convinced them. So the governor is doing his little egg thing. Been done before. That's where our kupuna, us kupuna now. We got to say, been done before. Don't fall for it. Been done before. Been there, done that. He would have said, been there, done that. Close your eyes and think about it. Just like him. You know. Anyway, the award was given to Kekuni, and I think Kianusai, I'm not sure. But last year, they asked the Order Kamehameha, do you have those that you would propose for this austere Kukani'o Award, which was given at Hulihe Palace? Full regalia. Ali Inui, the Ali Inui of the Order, Ali Kadishe made this for Ku. He made that kahili. It's red and black because that's the color of our Moku that proposed it. Of course I proposed it. Of course. And Maxine Olilio came to receive it for him. And Keawalau kind of helped her because, you know, Auntie Maxine, she drives, which is a scary thought for most people. You live in Wyoming. Them roads ain't big. And you going to tell Auntie Max she no can drive. Watch out. I had to walk through the district. Yeah. But I wanted to tell you on behalf of the Order Kamehameha to the family. Patriotism for our people. The Order Kamehameha was to infuse patriotism into the subjects of the Hawaiian Kingdom and to honor those both foreign and domestic who do service for the kingdom, who do serve the kingdom. And that was its award. And when 1887 happened, we backed away from it because we never trust anybody inside there already. And when the Queen did what she did to help us to survive, because if she wouldn't have done it, you know, somebody would post one thing. If I get boring, just raise your hand and I'm out. But somebody posted, and it was just, you know, history about Lauren Thurston. Did you guys see that? Anybody? Anyway, and it blah, 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 da, 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 da. And he was a part of the, you know, the constitutional remake of it. You know, my comment, very Paul Nevis, not on behalf of the Order of Kamehameha, just so it should not go back to the powers that be, was this man was a traitor to his nation. And the Americans, when they apologized, where's his apology? And all the land that he and the shipments took for nothing. Oh, they'll say they bought it. Yeah, minor bird price. That's when us kupuna still got to speak up. Hey, nice. Somebody said, when the Queen surrendered, I wrote, she never surrendered. Do I remember? Is there a document of surrender? No such thing. How dare you say that? We got to catch it. Whether it's Facebook, Uptime, I can't even follow all the sites. You follow them. And when you see that, you point it out. On behalf of my children, she never surrendered. Never. If she surrendered, you dead. Where's the capitulation? When did we lay the flag on the ground? Never. And we never will. Until such time as the minister comes to his, they're doing little wild things now, aren't they? Very similar. Regime change. Started with Liliu Okolani, January 17th. Up to that point, U.S. foreign policy never went into a country to remove its leader and put one of their tokens in place. Never. They started with us. So when I see this happening, wherever it's happening, I go, reminds me, we never surrendered, right? It was illegal. They're saying again, we're not only illegal, we're going to tell you we're going to do them again. So we still got to walk around talking about what a nice guy Lauren Thurston was, or, gee, those were 13 good pals. I wish they had a football team together. I don't think so. I was like that. This guy was not like that. He would close his eyes. He would smile. He'd hear me going off on my rant. And then he would put it in writing. And his writing was as powerful of what you just heard me say. One little incident I want to remind you of Ahupua. There was a time when the women, I think you were there. I think Keawalau was there. You know, our women could be quite savage, I should say. I said, cool, are you still married? He says, I think so. These women, you know, the Pule, you know, where they go hunt, the hunter's cabin. The former governor, military governor of the state of Hawaii, Ige, came, remember with the big brothers? One brought a table, 2 tables. Remember that? Big, never need gun. They just look scary. Came with him. And he wanted to talk to our hui, because he wanted to go up. Remember? Lanakila guy was camping out in one tent about this high, which I thought, okay. I love their Simon shack. That bugger was, man. When we do riots, we go in style. We go in style. We bring in kalua pig, raw fish, any kind. Anyway, we have to take the governor up. The women never let go. We ain't going with him. And we're like, oh, man. So it's only me and Ku, right? So I go, what? He goes, and you know what he said? I know. I said, you Virgo. I said, Virgo. So I go, I'll go. I'll take you up there, Governor. But you take any gun, you make any motion to hurt those boys and girls, but most were boys, at 9,000 feet, I'll leave you there. I'll take you up there and walk back down. I'll leave you there. I'll pull the keys, throw them on the mountain, and frickin' walk. That's a quote. Because if brother ain't going, and only me, and the little Kapani, with the big kanakas like that, with guns that the bugger look like toy on their hip. No way. So we go. I said, there's the boys. They're over here. But I think you should go up and then talk to them when you come back. Okay? He goes, okay. So when we stopped by, I told him, this is the place, this is 9,000, this is its couple, as far as we stood at that time. This is its couple. You don't make real from here on, you're going to go upside down. So they need to. So who appears from his lounge? He appears. Paul. I go, cool, what? Governor, they need to take their firearms out. They need to leave him here. Cannot have firearms up there. Couple, right? They never like. There was 2 vans. One went, boom, whole transaxle gone with the big guards and the little guns. Right at the go through that little gate area. Said, don't do it. He said, no, do it. And I said, he's older than me. I would suggest you guys don't do it. They did. That first van with those guards and those guns remained at 9,000 feet. And me and him, just me and him and the driver and our former Keawalau governor and McCarthy, his, I don't know, Mike McCarthy, went up. We went up, we told him, over here is this, over here is, what area is sacred? Everything that you're on top of. Everything that you've been on top of since you left the mayor's office in Hilo is sacred. What part of sacred don't you understand? Those are quotes, by the way. Because we had to. You never been here before? And how the states was spent here and you never been here before? Sheesh. Anyway. He knew how to be, and his manao to me, like Mr. Liloy, when you're in church, talk church, but win. When you're in lawyer, learn their language and win. When you go pull kalo and somebody question why you're doing them, pull it, get them to help you and win. Know how to go from one place to the other. Why? Because they're going to play us against each other. They learn that. They're even being taught that. Don't be like that. Our greatest gift we have is uloa. That's our greatest gift. If we have any chance of living what he did for us. I know Auntie Max is not well, hard to get around, so I didn't talk to her, but I can imagine that's why she's not here. I'm going to, really? Oh, God. Shit, take all those quotes down. I am now exterminated. Brother was correct. This was not a distinguished activity. Oh, God. I spent 2 days with her on, by the last thing. He walked. He walked and walked and walked. If you got manao from him, from the heart, you took a walk with him. And all those sacred trails as well as. I wanted to, and I think you folks know, when he first got his heart stuff, and he was in Kona, and I went to go see him. We had to wear a mask. And this cute little girl was taking care of him. I said, geez, can I hire you for when my time comes? I mean, she was good to him. Are your toes cold? My wife never saw. I can't remember the last time my wife noticed my toes. Jesus, goodness. This little girl was, you need water, a little more ice, uncle, right? And the care in which you folks organize Kona. Just like Uncle Bimo, but the care you organized Kona for Ku was so honorable and distinguished. I was so proud of you. I was so proud of those people who stayed 24 hours. Not kind of watch. Watch. And so I got this fart in my brain that I want to open an organic farm for caregivers. For those girls and boys that take care of the other ones. Like you take care of your ohana. Like I had to take care of my ohana. Mama was fine. She was dementia, kanaka, loved every day. God bless you, Mom. My father was Portuguese. That was a pain in the ass. A royal pain in the ass. I just came back from Portugal. I was in Portugal for 11 weeks just to get in touch with my other half. You know what Portuguese in Portugal are like? They're from Monaca on steroids. You got a name like Oliveira, whatever, they over there. Your relatives are over there. They fight over who got the best malasadas. They do the same stuff as you. They just don't do it. They do it in Portuguese. They are. They're from, it even looks like Honoka. It does. Go someday. You're going to go and you go, gee, Uncle said look like Honoka. It is. That's why they never went back, because look like Madeira. It does. But it was hard taking care of my parents. This was not easy for those of you who cared for him. Not easy. And I want to make an organic farm place, someplace in these islands. So if you was taking care of the guy from Mongolia and you was Haole, then you come. And if you Hawaiian and you have to take care of someone you love, you come. And if you Hawaiian, better yet, come. You come to this center, and for 5 days, you cry, you go fish, you get lomi, you learn chant, you dance hula, you do art, you do whatever you need to do to restore some goodness in you, because this takes love. You folks that took care of him. I saw it in Kona, and I know it extended to Oahu. Of course. Of course. So that is why I walked around the Big Island for 350 miles. I thought about him a lot of times, because I could hear him say, hey, Paul, that's kind of low, you know. Where I was walking, no more traffic. But I wanted to see the state of our island, the state of our people. What's being built by them? What is this trash all over the place? How come there's so many dead birds over here? What is the plan for this place? So it took me 40 days. I wanted 40 days. But it was inspired by him. Spirituality. You know, any of you folks ever come to Mauna Kea? You know there's no such thing as you cannot go up. Because of people like that. That pathway has been there. Like I said, I've known him for 40 years or so. We used to call him Columbo. You remember the movie? I don't know. Some guy's too young. They don't remember Columbo. Columbo was this odd investigator. Because Clarence would come up with the damnedest responses. Where did you get that from? It's Columbo. I said, Keawalau, you smoke bakalolo or what? She goes, no, but I do sometimes. I said, I like smoking once in a while. Because this guy, why the hell he would come up with that? Because they would down us here. He'd say, go here. Precedent was here. Go here. Come over here. Go here. Such a good, wise man. And if we got him in our lahui, which I know we do, we need to nurture them. We need to nurture them. We need to take care of them. But we also need to take care of ourselves. But, we kupuna now. I'm an activist, but I'm a kupuna activist. I do Tai Chi and paddle twice a week and walk my chocolate labs. Hey, I'm not trying to get a freaking degree in the university. But don't repeat the mistakes that he found. We found. You and I found. Don't need. No need. And they say, well, we're just going to make a governor executive order. You could take that consecutive order and you know where that sun don't shine. Put it up there real quickly. Why did we go through all the trouble? So you can make an executive order? I don't think so. I think you know what to do. Know that the Order Kamehameha will stand with you folks over Puakaloa, especially over Mauna Kea. You change your mind, you better explain to us why. In plain English, Hawaiian, Samoan, however you want to translate it. But we will. Because we think it's good for our lahui. We are very concerned with the assets of the kingdom being deleted or actions towards those resources, which is our land and our people, being diluted or extinguished as our speaker. Anyway, good person. I'm so glad I came down to hear all the testimony. To the family again, our sincere sadness and regret. But he is about 5 people that have received the Kukani'o Award since 1887. And he absolutely deserved that. And you folks all deserve that. A little smudge of that too, because you supported him. Okay, mahalo nai. Well, thanks for the ride.
Once again, everybody, give it up for Uncle Paul Nevis, everybody. Mahalo, Uncle. You did such a great job in storytelling. Mahalo. So we have our next speaker. Before we have Felicia called in from Manokalanipo, we got Brother Darren Makaivi there with Hālawa. He said, Pai'ai over there. And then we get, I forgot Tita's name, but from Sugar High, we get some soft serve Haukalima. So you guys can get that on. So our next speaker is Felicia called in from Manokalanipo.
Aloha. I really want to say to the family, to Uncle Ku's children, and I know a lot of them have left, but I want to really give my aloha from Kauai, and I want to just say what an honor it was to be friends with Uncle Ku, and my relationship with him started at 9,000 feet, really, up on the Mauna. I had been invited over when I was a talk show host or community affairs programmer at Kauai Community Radio. And I went there at the invitation of people from Oahu. But getting to know Uncle Ku was like going to law school. And he taught me so many things. I met him up there, but then, and I met Pule and Kalani Flores, and I got to really give the really ups in a similar way. And how much I learned from going to, literally physically from Kauai to the BLNR meeting, and then watching it. I gained weight over watching it. It seemed like it lasted for months that I couldn't get any exercise because I'm sitting in my kitchen doing that. And but when I decided to run for office, Uncle Ku gave me so much encouragement, and I actually asked him for his blessing. And I feel like I want to give you guys credit too, and certainly Liko Martin, I don't see him right now. I've known him since I was in my 20s, really teaching me a lot and helping me to understand about the role of government and what has happened in the past and how to make it right. And I can't change. I am a county councilman from Kauai. I'm in my 4th term. And I was really saddened selfishly, when Uncle Ku had his stroke, because he was like my chat GPT. I know Kalani and Liko always kind of, have heard from me too, but I will say I'd call Uncle Ku and I would ask him a question, and he never acted humbug or bothered or anything like that. He was never busy. He was so warm and kind and acted like he'd been waiting for my call, and gave me so much good information and joined me on the radio a number of times to be able to teach our people on Kauai really about what's there and what's the history. And so anyway, I want to give my love to you guys, and I've been so honored to be haumana to some really amazing people. And it does change the world little bit by little bit, and definitely helps to have people in government understand just a little bit more how to make things more right. Anyway, much mahalo to the whole family. A lot of love to you. And he would talk about you guys, by the way. And his kids and his family meant so much to him. So thank you. All right. And I'm not sure who I hand it to, so Maka, you're getting it. Okay, here he is.
Thank you, Felicia. Sorry, I saw Lena Ala leaving, so I had to go give her my aloha. Our next speaker is the one, the only Antipua case, Uncle Kalani Flores, everybody. Pai pai lima yaoko.
Aloha everybody from Mauna Awakea, Mauna Kea. I have a little list in my mind, so I'm just going to go through this list that I feel is significant about us and Ku, and then Kalani will add to. And so the first thing I want to say is when Ku had his stroke in Kona, because this will set the stage, I was called and I raced to Kona, and I was the first one to sit in the emergency room with him. And I'm only going to say this one sentence. The people in the caregivers, the nurses in the emergency room, I swear, thought that he was on his way out. I can tell you that right now. And I reassured them that Ku was not going to go that fast, that easy. He was going to stay and he was going to fight, and stayed with him until Bimo and some of the other Kona Kia'i came. But I'm setting the stage with that because I also want to thank the Ohana for when Ku was then leaving, for calling me so that we could sing to him right before he passed to go back to Kealau o Akea. So I want to start with that. But the one thing I'm going to talk about is the raising of the flags on Mauna Kea. But before I do that, I have to acknowledge some people in here. So when Kalani and I and our ohana stepped into the contested case hearings from 2010 on, I'm born and raised in Waimea under the slopes of Mauna Kea. I'm from a Parker Ranch family. My dad was in charge of water, so Mauna Kea has always been Big Mama to me. And when we stepped into the first contested case hearing, I just want to recognize those who were in the first contested case with us, which starting with Ching, Paul Neves, Kealoha Pishoda, Debbie Ward, and Kahea. And we became the sixth petitioner. And when we would fly down here in those really early times when really nobody but maybe us and 6 more people even knew about what was happening for Mauna Kea, I want to say that Candace and Shelley, Liko, Laulani, Cheryl, Dee, and just a few others were hanging around, supporting us in every way that they could, and maybe some of you were there as well. And then in 2017, on our second contested case hearing, some of you are in this room right now, and I know some have left, but if you were in the contested case hearing in 2017, can you stand, please? Like Cindy, like Billy, like Paul, Mehana, Lena Ala, some of them have left. I just want to recognize them because we were a hui with Ku, taught by Ku, stood with Ku, ate with Ku, testified with Ku. We lived and breathed the contested cases on Mauna Kea. So in 2010 is how I remember Ching. My younger daughter, Kapule, and I hope she's on the live right now because she's back on Hawaii Island. She must have been 9 or so at the time. She had a project for school. She was going to Kanoka Aina. She duplicated the Ku'e petition into a Mauna Kea petition. Same format. And she got 500 signatures, Ching being one, Skippy, like a bunch of heavy hitters signed her petition, and we went to the first Mauna Kea meeting with BLNR in Kona to present that petition. And when we got there, Ching was sitting in the front with Sole Niheo. And they saw the 4 of us come in, Havani, Kapule, and we stood there and we spoke for Mauna Kea, and Kapule spoke at that young age. And then she handed them the petition. And Ku and Sole were in joy that day because they knew it wasn't only going to be them. They saw in my girls that it was going to continue. And it was one of the happiest I've ever seen Ku in that kind of a moment, when there was a look and a talk between us, and he said, we have hope because of you folks being here and your girls presenting that. So years later, Ku asked us to help him to carry on the tradition of raising the high Hawaii twice in the year, and we've been doing it for a number of years now. And I want to recognize Candace, Barron, and anyone else who started that with Ku, because I might not know all the names or the faces, but I just really want to recognize that. So whoever else was there to begin that, we I'm not talking about just us, but we have kept it going because Ku asked us to do that. And I'm speaking about that because from a little girl who handed in a petition, the first petition for Mauna Kea in the same format as the Ku'e petition, has taken on that kuleana with her father and make sure that both of them are there with the flag and the poles, and right now with a truck that can't even make it to the top of the mountain. But somehow, 2 times a year, we make sure that the high Hawaii is the highest flag flying. So mahalo to Ku for that. Be careful when they ask you something at a kupunas and you say yes that first time. You're going to be doing that for the next 100 years. But it's an honor. And so I'm going to pass it to Kalani. And when I do, we brought some water from Lake Waiau. And we want to make sure that Ku is anointed in the waters that he still protects from the other side.
Alono tātou whauroa, mahalo nui na tui ana. So I believe this picture here is one of the last times Ku was on the Mauna when we rose the high. Because I was looking through scrolling through my phone to see, and the picture is July in 2022. Usually when Ku goes up on the Mauna, and we've done a number of years, and Kaola and others have been going up even before, and so we went up with Ku to support him, and then Debbie Ward brought the bamboo poles and then passed them on to us, and then we would bring the poles up every time and go up the Mauna. But Ku usually goes up. The first couple of times he used to go up, he goes up with slippers, shorts, and his vest with no more sleeves. That's how he is on the Mauna most times. We used to go up. And Ku is probably 30 years older, or some 20-something more years older than me. So I usually shadow Ku, stay behind him. When you go up, he stop, I stop. So we just kind of shadow. But I was thinking, this thing is, if you have, where we go up, down, you got to go down, you got to go up that hill. When you get up that hill, that hill is high when you get up there, and the altitude is high up there, and the oxygen is low. But I look, if Ku can make them, I can make them. That's how. Ku could take a rest, I go rest. Ku walking, I stay walking. But all I remember one time was Ku was up there and was cold. And when he had his vest with no more sleeves, the puffy vest, shorts and slippers, and he was cold. I said, Ku, you better take my jacket. After that, this picture is unusual where he actually gave a long sleeve, I'm saying. Only later on. And this time, I look at my pictures, he actually had shoes on. But most times, slippers, shorts, and no sleeve vests. And so we've been going up there as such with Ku. And I looked at my pictures, this is July 2022. Then after his stroke, then his ohana came up, and we went up. Unfortunately, we couldn't go all the way up because the road was closed. I think it was snow up on the top. But we went up on Mauna Kea, went on the Ahupua, and Kalepa Moa, and ohana rose the flag up at that day and that time. So it was an honor to be with him at that time. We rose the flag up in there. So since I think there was only a break during COVID and another time where we hadn't gone up, but other than that, we've been consistently going up ever since the time with Ku, and most recently. But if you ever want to come, it's on La Ho'iho'i'ea Day and La Ku'oko'a Day. Those 2 days, just meet at the visitor center at 9:30 or 10, or you look on Facebook. We're going up one way or the other. We're going up. We bring the flags and bring the poles, and that's Ku's flag. And that flag, like I said, been on the Mauna so many times, flown the highest anywhere in the world, highest above all, and we always continue that. And yeah, the flag is not easy. That's a huge flag and a thing blowing in the wind. But we've been magical at times, and Momi and others know, the wind just calmed a little bit down.
for us to pull it up and hold it up. And then it flutters the flag for us. But so we've been on there when the wind is blowing and so forth. But it's been magical. But another thing about Ku, and even before the Mauna and everything began, we were at the PTA Pohakaloa training area cultural advisory group. And this is way before the Mauna. We was on it. It was like the initiate when the thing first formed by the commander at the PTA Pohakaloa. Wanted cultural input. So we used to be on the stuff, and we used to go to meetings and everything and see what they was doing, like he said, figuring out what they was doing on the mount up in Pohakaloa. But Ku and myself, we didn't film for Oha. If you ever look at Pohakaloa, now you know what you're going to do. And after we did that film through Oha, then the commander says, I don't think we want you on the committee anymore. And then Ku said, in protest, says, I leave in the committee too. So both of us, we left that advisory committee, but both, even Ku, he talks on that film, very about Pohakaloa and also what was going on. So we just been blessed to be in the Ku's presence. He lives just down the road from us. We know that far well. And we know, like, if you're looking for Ku before, when you were looking for Ku, to find Ku, he going to either be at the public library using their computer. Then later on was McDonald's. But then McDonald's said, you got to order if you're going to be using the internet. So he went right next door in the shopping center, and he used to be in the lobby over there on the computer because you can still catch the Wi-Fi from McDonald's. Or you can find him at Starbucks in his car right outside of Starbucks. So if you're ever looking for Ku, we know you're not home. You're going to be at Starbucks, McDonald's, or somewhere else. But then, fortunately, other people opened up their homes. And so Ku, like Renee was saying, then he had a place, he had a shelter, he had taken care of, he had free Wi-Fi, TV. But like I said, Ku was just down the road from us. And it was Ku and Soli that really, we see him at the meetings and we interacted. And when we first got into contest the case hearing, and I'll call up Ku, okay, Ku, how you doing contest the case hearing? Because he had done it before when the NASA project on the Keck like maybe 10, 20 years ago. And he said, oh, just go on, fill out this form, and turn it in at the meeting. And so it was cool that helped us get into the contested case hearing. But we just honor the Ohana and all and Ho'aloha, it was Kia'i, and of course Ku for standing to be Ku and to be Ku'e when needed. Mahalo nui aloha. Aloha.
All right, everybody. Our next speaker is Uncle Kaho'ola. Ching, please come up. Thank you, Auntie Pua. Thank you, Uncle Kalani.
Aloha kākou. My name is Kaho'ola, and I'm not Ku's brother. No. Yeah, I'm not Ku's brother. We think we're brothers. No, we're not. So, at any rate, the reason I'm here is because I'm going to talk about part 2 of the Huaka'i. So Candace already talked about part 1, but I go from 2002 until whenever. But so 2001, I get this email, right? It's like, Ching says, hey, you want to do a hike on Mauna Kea? We're going to walk in the footsteps of the ancestors. Like, okay, that's cool. You know, we go walking on Mauna Kea, right? Okay, that's cool. So we go over there. We walk from Hamakua Coast. We go walk to Kukaiao Ranch. It's like, whoa, that was hard, man. From Kukaiao Ranch, then we go walk up, and it's like, holy cow, do I really want to do this? Like, this was hard. So, okay. Moment of decision. Okay, we go walk. And so we were walking up, right? Okay. And so we went up to Kukaha'ula, and we went down Pohakuloa, and then we went to Kiholo Beach, and then we went to Luahine Vai in Kona. And, well, there's all stories associated with that, but I don't know. I don't bore you. But anyway, so that was the first Huaka'i. And if you see the pictures over there, that's us on the first Huaka'i. July 31st, 2002. And those two flags over there are the ones in the picture from 2002. Yeah. So anyway, so subsequent, I think second Huaka'i, we went from Kukaha'ula over to Mauna Kea, down to Keawalau, and then down to Keawalau, and then we walked to Petroglyph Field. Okay, so what happens is that after went for hula training, you gotta like research stuff, right? And our opening oli was Li'uli Uvale, and we were told that it's a Kauai chant. But it turns out you do research. No, it's a Hawaii Island chant. And it talks about going from Hamakua Coast up to Mauna Kea in the Ahupua of Koholalele and over to Kapapala and then down. And it's like, in 2 years we did that. We took almost the same path. And it took me years after that to learn. And it's like, okay, the Olis, they have their own life. They decide when you need to know stuff. And we needed to know that, but not then. It was later. Okay. So on that second Huaka'i, we're at Keauho, not Keauho Puna, but Keauho Puna. And so we're camping out over there, and it's all dark, right? And so from the other end of the camp, we hear this big rustle. We're like, oh. It's like, oh man, somebody must have found a big centipede, right? No, that's the thing when the Pule lands on Ku's toe. And I don't know if you know the significance of that. His name is Kukawakahi, and that's the king of the owls, the highest avatar of Ku. And that was our makua. And they visited several people inside the camp at that time. So that's actually the second thing. I trained, Western style, right? All things are reproducible. You can't reproduce it in a test. Like, okay, it doesn't exist. It's fake, right? Like, whoa, there were things that happened that just had no explanation. How many times you see a whale land on somebody at night? That doesn't happen. Yeah. It's just not coincidence. It's like, okay. And so subsequently, what we've done, like we've been to Ahua Umi. Ahua Umi. Yeah. That's the capital under Umialiloa. And we've been to like Hopokane. And Hopokane is like one of the 4 goddesses of Mauna Kea. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we've been there. And there's more stories than that about what happened there, but that's another time. But at any rate, so the other thing is that I don't know if Candace talked about this, but when I went to hula training, I had to leave the Huakai. But in 2007, we read about this guy from Michigan, a tourist. He gets lost on Mauna Kea. They cannot find the guy. And in 2007, I'm looking at my newspaper saying, oh, we're going to find this guy. I know we're going to find this guy. So we resumed in 2012. You told them about that. Okay, so in 2012, okay, first day back, first hour out, first mile, we find the guy. We found him. Mr. Brian Murphy of Michigan. He was there from 2007 to 2012. And the way we found him, we went by eyesight navigation. We stayed 3 degrees off of Mauna Loa. We just followed by navigation. And so what is the meaning of that? To me is that Mauna Kea and Brian Murphy wanted to go home. Because if you know that place, it's huge. It's gigantic. There are big gullies and everything. You can walk 10 feet and you're not going to see the guy. You have to be right on the guy. But we found him because I think he wanted to go home. I think Mauna Kea wanted to send him home. So, all these things happen on Mauna Kea. Like, again, things you cannot reproduce. Things that have no scientific explanation. And that's when I learned, yeah, there is such a thing. It's not necessarily all science. There is this meaning, this kauna over there, like It's inexplicable. I don't know. But at any rate, yeah, so I guess there are other stories, but I think for another time. Okay? So, mahalo.
Thanks, Uncle. All right, at this time, I'm going to call up Uncle Lico Martin to share some mana'o about Uncle Ku as well. Yeah, because the slideshow is not working, so I just improvising as the MC. So we're calling up Uncle Lico, who's going to share some mana'o. And then after Uncle Lico is going to share, because right now we get to 6, so right now it's like 4:40, 4:50 right now. So Uncle Lico is going to share some mana'o. And then after that, Tita Lena, we're going to do Oli Mahalo. And then after Oli Mahalo, then we're going to do Hawaii Loa Kuliki Kako. Yes. Okay, Melelani found a loose piece of jewelry over here. Looks like a butterfly or a moth with, look like diamonds. So if anybody lost their ear, right here, get the, yeah, can you see Melelani? I'm not going to hold them. Okay, at this time, Uncle Lico Martin, everybody.
Aloha. Aloha, everyone. Here we are again, and we will continue to gather in life's living and in its passing also, I'm sure. It's nice to see so many of us. When people ask me how I'm doing, nowadays I say, we are doing great. Okay. And the best is yet to come, and it's good times around the bend. So I go back to the time of George Helm and Kimo Mitchell and the events that happened into stopping the desecration of Kaolave. And the disappearance of George and Kimo and the issues that were brought forth in Kaolave gave rise to the beginning of our unity of bringing back our lahui. And I remember when we met one time at the Biltmore Hotel. This was before Oha, before there was even a thought of Oha. Everyone was concerned about the taking of the life of those two people and everything that they stood for to try to prevent from reoccurring. That was the issue. And I remember George speaking at the last concert. We were gathering, trying to go through all the islands. The last concert was on Molokai. And I remember when he said, to stop the bombing on Kaho'olawe, don't go to Kaho'olawe. You must turn around and look at your backyard. And you must look at the world around, because what has happened to Kaho'olawe, it came from the outside. And now we look around, and it is true what George said. Okay. So I remember shortly after that, all the kupunas, so many kupunas. We met at the Biltmore Hotel, which is no longer standing. And on that day, it was the evening time, they had a conference. And family after family, there were literally, I couldn't count the number of kahilis that were brought to the Biltmore Hotel, standing in unity before it even was thought about, before they had the convention. Okay. And this is what is happening now, the rising of our lahui, the recognitions of the chiefs, and for what they stood for, and all those families. So Oha gets formed. We all kind of, go our different ways. And myself, I went with Kawaipuna Pergine. Okay, Kawaipuna Pergine is another person to be remembered. And Kawaipuna stepped beyond the veil of Hawaii. He stepped into the international arena with the help of the International Indian Treaty Council. He was there to explore the dynamics and the dimension of our status as a nation state. And that's where we are now. And I happened to go with him into the United Nations at the invitation of the Alaskan delegation. And now Alaska and Hawaii is very important to remember that in 1959, the same time, somehow Hawaii and Alaska were removed from the oversight of the United Nations, where if we had not been removed, especially with Hawaii, independence was a guarantee. So the scandal that took place in 1959 has yet to be revealed, okay? Because in 59, basically we now know that another provisional government, a military government, was imposed upon us that we are powerless to protect ourselves from. So in 59, they revisited the Committee of Safety and the provisional government. And ironically, when Josh Green, MD, acting governor for the state of Hawaii, wrote to the Secretary of the Army within the last couple months, because the federal environmental impact statement could not pass. What did they do? They became the Committee of Safety again. It's funny how this comes back to pass. But anyway, when Kawaipuna and I went to United Nations, we found the letter, the report that was made by the United States regarding Hawaii. And I sent a postcard to Manukahali'i, and we gathered all kinds of documents, not only at the UN, but at the Special Documents section in the United States Congress in the Senate Hart Building. So one day I was in Honolulu, and Manukahali'i and Tamaiko Lukukui Sr. came to look for me and asked me to come to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs and bring all the documentation so they could look at it to just see where we are. Did we really lose anything by time? And that's when I first met Ku. And of course, at that time, it was really a magical thing, because on that day, I remember bringing all of the documents, and they still, Linda Delaney somehow put them in some files. And these are all records of Pacific nation states and everything. So since that time, we have been tracking. It's just like if we were looking through a telescope, we've been in movement through celestial time. And time now, the prophecy of what is above will come down and what is below will rise is now. It's not the only prophecy shared here. It's a prophecy that is shared amongst many indigenous peoples. So I remember on that day I met Ku and so many of the OHA trustees, not realizing the deception that was occurring through apartheid, our apartheid system, but we know now. We know the difference between, where not to go. Half of my family can be there, half cannot be. That is what we're going to do. We got to put it all together, but it's up to us now. And everything that I'm seeing, especially the highlights with the new militarism and the whole thing, it's like the gig is up. And I know that all I can see in the spirit is Ku smiling. And many other Kupunas smiling and saying, this is our time. And it's just, to honor the family ku, and all the thousands of kupunas. Thousands. Okay. So let's up this year. Have a good feeling about this year. We take it one time. Sometimes you have to do the most unexpected thing. You arrive where no one thought you would dream of going. And that is to freedom. Our weapon, love. What do you do against a so-called enemy that has no defense? I think it would be wise not to start a war that never occurred, but to love them and step in with a full heart and bring it back to one. Like the Queen in her last book, she called upon who? The honest American. She wisely did not surrender. She yielded. Our time is now. Things have not happened. Congress has not come clean. It's like, if you know war stories, it's called like crossing the Rubicon. Go where they do not expect you to go. So, the honors to Ku, my brother, aloha, aloha, and your family. And I'm just glad I'm still alive and that all of us are here now, because this is a very important year for us. We rise, we bring love to the world, we bring the truth to power. Yeah, aloha, everyone.
Thank you, Uncle Liko. How's everybody doing there? We still here, everybody, but mahalo nui. So we're going to have Ahui just come share a little bit more now, and then Lena is going to do Ole Mahalo. But after Lena, then we're going to have Kalihua come up and share mahalos there. Kalihua, is that okay? Yeah? All right. Okay. Ahui.
Mahalo. Aloha family. I am Ahu Kiai, and I wasn't gonna say anything, but I was really moved by all of this. Now I am new to this fight for our country, but it's Anakala's work that has left a legacy for us to pick up on. All of these kupuna we get to see that have paved the way for us to continue. And I felt compelled to give my only thing that I can is my voice and my energy. And as we move forward, right, and as we roll into the next year and we empower ourselves and we use Anakala Ku and his works to stand upon the righteousness of our people and our lands, I just want to offer a transformation chant. And you all know it. E Ihu Ano Luna talks about the turning, right, bringing down and then rising up. And that's what I can give today. And so in commemoration of his works, all that he's given and paved for us to be able to work upon, I'd like to offer that. And if any of you want to join in, that I welcome you to do that as well. Ooh, Anakala, mahalo. We perpetuate that life. Eola. Eola.
Mahalo, Tita. All right, everybody. Yeah, we're gonna do Oli Mahalo. Wait, but before we do Oli Mahalo, we're gonna call up Kalihua. Please, Kalihua, come up. And mahalo everybody for still sticking around. You guys all hammers. But you know, all the hammers had to leave. Moko Kiawe, we love you guys. Auntie Cindy, love you. Okay.
We have a lot of people to thank today. Kim Kelly, she helped with the Konane boards. We still have Konane boards. So for those of you sticking around, we can still do that. Joe and Mamo in the back and the rest of the Lau Lau crew. Ho'olu, Hilinai, Anna, Blaze for your help. The beautiful program was put together by my classmate from high school, Brenna Pastos. Momi Nuhiva and the Mako Ohana donated Makahiki games for today. And then the front registration table, Mahele and Kiki Nitahara and Dave Lean and Alamea West helped with that. Thank you to them for sitting out there and greeting everyone. To the Hatiko, Chinen Zablan, Arakawas, and the Nitaharanas for the help with the kitchen in the back. Mahalo sisters, mahalo brothers, all my nieces and nephews, thank you so much. And then to Max, Kalahele, thank you for the audio, making sure everybody could hear today. Thank you so much. Setup crew, I mean, everybody just chipped in. Like, everywhere I looked, people were working hard, and thank you for jumping in and helping. Mahalo setup crew, yep. Thank you. Candace Fujikane, she made the lei for her dad. The Alana Ohana, Tanya just came. Thank you so much. They came to make lei at our house. Auntie Renee helped me pick some of the lei too, so thank you to them. Back in the corner back there is Darren from the Makaiwi Ohana. He's back there doing ku'ikalo. So if you have time, stop by there. He would love to share it with you. You can take a little bit home with you. Everybody that spoke during the open mic, that was just so nice to hear all the stories and to learn about him. And I can't wait to watch the video when I have time to focus. Barbara for helping with the tents, everyone who flew in. I think they probably all had to go back. But, so those of you that came in, like when we had to decide if we're gonna do it on Oahu or do it on Hawaii Island, it was a really tough decision. We wanted to make sure everybody would be able to attend. We just had to go with Oahu, but you know what? All the people that we wanted to be here were here. And if those that weren't here, they're on right now. And aloha to everyone on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining us today. I'm glad that you could be here with Dad. Kaukaohu, mahalo for all his MC work today. That was so great. He helped with that. And also my husband Maka for helping with that as well. The two of you guys are a good tag team. Maybe you guys can do it together on the side job. Auntie Pua, Havani, they had to leave, but they were very helpful as well. Gea and Kino in the back, is she still here? She helped with the pupus and the dips. Mahalo, Gea. Anna made the spicy soybeans. Allison, Kapahu with the Howley brownies with the ice cream. That was good. Yeah, make sure you get some ice cream before you go. Kim Bali with desserts. Is it Bali? Bali. And Kamehameha Bakery for the poi donuts. And mahalo, right, yeah. And everyone that participated in the program today, just everybody for being here. I'm sorry if I left anybody out. I tried my best to kind of keep track, but you know, with all that's going on, I hope I didn't forget anyone. We have our camera crew here. Mahalo to both of them. Thank you for capturing these moments, capturing these thoughts. Okay, mahalo. On behalf of the Ching Ohana, we really love you all. Yeah. I did. Oh, he didn't hear it, so I'm going to say it again. Mahalo to Kako. So he was our MC and Mako was our MC, and I was saying, you guys do it. You guys are good together. You guys can do like a side job. Oh, sorry. Yes. Mahalo. Okay.
All right. Give it up for the Ching Ohana, everybody. Keanu or Christy. Keanu is the oldest, and then comes Tony Kaleho, and then comes Tamsin Kalehua, and then Umiali Loa. So give it up for the Nakeki of Uncle Ku, everybody. And all the Mo'opuna, and I got to find out that Lindsay is the oldest of all the Mo'opunas. But so right now, since my Tita Lena up here, she actually signed up for the open mic, and she's been gracious. So she wanted to do Oli Mahalo. So we're going to do Oli Mahalo. And after Oli Mahalo, then Uncle Likoa and Laulani, they're going to jump on and we're going to do Hawaii Loa Kuli Kikako, which Uncle Likoa also wrote. So, okay, everybody, as we send off Uncle Ku, yeah, we love Uncle Ku. And I just wanted to share just one moment. I appreciate Candace, and everybody that came up to speak for Uncle Ku. I think it was in 2013. We was down at Oha and was to do with the Mauna. And everybody was coming up for do they share the manao. So I went up and I testified. And and I want to share my moku au hau, but however my kupuna is kavinui a umi. Yeah, kohala. Yeah. That's my kupuna. So originally I says Wahilani is from kohala. Yeah. Oh yeah, and if you guys, and I'm gonna give the mahalos to cousin Kulia Thomas with the ava. So anybody makivai, please come have some more ava. Yeah, but and also I'm gonna give a round of applause to Brother Oren Sutsumi, because Oren always shows up for the lahui. Oren will kind of take the kuleana from Pono, but we love Oren, and I called Oren up and said, hey Oren, can you come? And he came. So mahalo Oren, and as well as Peterson right here. Peterson. He's also Kalihua's classmate. Imo Kamehameha. He's been over here. But so I just wanted to finish my little mana'o. And so when we was out there, when I said my kupuna was Keawalau Umi, then Uncle Ku went call me and he said, hey, you Umi? I said, yeah. I told him, and he said, what? Then we ohana because Umi aliloa. So ever since then we had this. And plus I knew Kaneho Tony. I knew Uncle Ku's oldest son. I knew him. We knew each other. We had 6-pack. Well, he still gets 6-pack, but I get on cake now. You know what I mean? But he knew me when I had on 6-pack. But I knew Kaneho a long time, and for me, reclamation of Kanaka identity. Yeah. So as he said, I said the names, the Kanaka names of Uncle Ku's Nakeki. Yeah. So just for me, my family and my childhood friends, they know me as Eric. Eric is my first name. Yeah. But my middle name is Kaukohu Kalani and my last name is Wahilani. The irony on that, my mom taught Hawaiian language and Hawaiian studies at UH Manoa from 1972 to 1982. And I remember, I turned in 60, so I remember when I was like 8 years old, I asked my mom, Ma, I got a question for you. She goes, yeah. I said, well, you teach Hawaiian language and Hawaiian studies at UH, right, at the highest level. My first name, Eric, but the rest of my Inoa is Kanaka. And then she said, oh, son, I'm like Eric the Red. I go, Ma, he's a freaking Viking, Ani Haole. But the irony on that, at second grade, I knew exactly who Leif Erikson was. But I had no idea who was Manono, who was Kawikeoli, right? Who was Emma DeFries, right? Who was, Manono, who was our kupuna. So for me, it was like, okay. And I come from Waianae, where we're supposed to get the most Kanaka iwi on the planet. Right? So reclamation, I had that. I remember in the 90s when Olelo Hawaii was, our language was almost dead. Then in the 90s, Punana Leo brought them back. Right? Like our brothers and sisters in Aotearoa. And so I remember in the 90s, I used to meet all these Kanaka. Oh, my name is Keanu Johnson. They all get Hawaiian first name, then last name they get Haole, and I'll be like this, Eric Wahilani. You know what I mean? But when I had that epiphany, I was like, Eric was a nice guy. But he had a very long season. So maybe like 15 years ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to put Eric to rest. And it's the season of Kauko'ohu Kalani. And for me, it's the reclamation of Kanaka identity and a kuleana that comes behind that. Especially as an Kane from Waianae. Because I love our Kanaka, I love our people, especially in Waianae, but however, the disconnection is rampant. And the ignorance is rampant. And so one day I was talking, because I get anxiety. It's been going up Ka'ala for over 11 years in our lo'i. And every Sundays we used to go, I used to have anxieties because how many derelict cars are going to be seen piling on the roads? And that's our own people. Yeah, but that's the disconnection of our people. So reclamation of Kanaka identity and a kuleana. Uncle Ku taught me that too. And I remember a couple years back, we went up to Kona for his birthday. Uncle Bimo, Mommy was there, Tirine was there. We was at Manago Hotel. I think it was his 85, was his 85th birthday. And you know, that laugh that Maka was talking about, that Keawalau was talking about, that was in his infectious aka. You know, but I just wanted to thank everybody. So, mahalo nui iloa, yakako, pakahia pau, and I'm going to call up Tita Lena. We're going to do Oli Mahalo. And Tita Laulani had someone I'll share about that. Okay, so if you guys know Oli Mahalo, please. Kui luna yaoko, keololu yaoko.
Hi, Uncle. I brought snacks. Going to sit down real fast. So, I've had the privilege of knowing Uncle Ku, and we met. We were doing Ailike with Kealau Proshora. And this is the position that we were always in our meeting. Uncle Ku would be on my right, Auntie Max would be on my left. And I always would bring snacks because Uncle Ku loves snacks. And he would nap beside me while Auntie Max would elbow me to tell him, wake up. But I always knew he was listening. I could smell the smoke from the cranks going in his mind. And I've listened to a lot of kupuna today. And I thought maybe it would be good for a kupuna in training, I guess, to speak on behalf of Uncle Ku, because he not only left a legacy of kupuna that follow him, he left a legacy for Pule to follow him. And I'm so grateful, Uncle. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. There's so many stories that I could tell and get giggles from, but I think what's most appropriate is for us to give you our mahalo.
I just want to add to a very deep mahalo to the ohana, and you know, the recognition that when we, as the younger people who've grown up in the movement, when we have these elders to learn from and to guide us and to be these great sources, we are in the understanding that that time that they give to us comes directly from you. And we know that that's a great cost. And we so deeply mahalo you for giving your father, your ohana, to us, for sharing him with us and with this movement, and for giving that you may not even be seen, but you're there and you're the ohana that is connected to him, that's in his heart every day that he walks with us. And so we just, in this mahalo, we just want to really, truly, deeply mahalo your whole ohana. And thank you so much.
So as the MC, I get the powers of improvising. So this came to me. So as we do in our lo'i, you know, after we do Oli Mahalo, we shout out Eo and Ea, yeah, our sovereignty and the breath that we as Kanakoi be breathing. Hikino, so after we do the Oli Mahalo, I'm gonna run from Kaliko, from Candace all the way down, and we're all gonna say Eo and Ea. Share, put it out in the universe, Uncle Ku. Hikino? Hikino? All right, and I find that so liberating, because if you never say anything, you can share the air in you. Okay, you know? And then after that, then Uncle Hiko's going to close us out with Hawaii Loa Kuliki Kako. You know? All right. Ha! Aloha. Yo!
Yo! Yeah!
Ew. Yeah.
Hey, yo! Hey, yeah!
Yeah.
Yo! Yeah! Yo! Yeah! We coming!
Ew. Yeah. Ew. Yeah. Ew.
Yo! Yeah!
I will get this guy. Oren! Come on, Oren! Maka! Yes, sir.
Yo! Lizzie! Yo! Uncle Nico. Mac. Oh, Joe, come on, Joe. Mac, come on, Mac. Come on, Tita. Come on. Right on, everybody. Pai Kalima. Right on, everybody. Thank you for sharing your air for Uncle Ku. So, at this time, Uncle Nico is going to send us off and close us up. Mahalo nui. Nui ke aloha ia o ko pakahia pao.
Well, okay then. Let's have a great year, okay? You know. Start off with a win. Oh, Hawaii, stand together. It is now and forever to raise your voices and hold your banners high. And we shall stand as a nation to guide the destiny of our generation, to sing and praise the glory of our land. We'll talk a story a little bit. This song, one time Don Ho called me up and he asked me to write a song because I wanted to go back home now. And 4 hours later, this is the song that they gave to Don Ho. So you can thank Don for this song. For real. As I travel from place to place, some familiar and some are strange, to hear the ancient chantings of our home. Sing it for cool. as we listen to the stories. Our eyes will see the glories, so let us raise our voice in song to save our land. And all Hawaii stand together. It is now and forever to raise your voices and hold your banners high. And we shall stand as a nation to guide the destiny of our generations, to sing and praise the glory of our land. Iloko na hale i apo hakua o ia na hana ye. E vai pi o baba uli uli o vai pi o e. Yes, sir. Na pupano o kaho o lave ke awa o kahana ke oni kani o no hili hano hano o hanare no Hawaii loa kukuli ke kako kupa ame kaloka hie When she saw this song sitting in Kawaipuna's office, King Street, she translated it into the Hawaii loa kulike kako. Because at that time, you know, what we didn't know, but we get them now. Within stone walls and cities of refuge, we learn the sacred ways. Upon Waipio's valley floor, the ancient battles rage, and from the barren slopes of Kaho'olawe and shores of Kahana Bay, we shall claim our lands from the barking sands to the valleys of Hanalei. Again, all Hawaii stand together. It is now and forever to raise your voices and hold your banners high. And we shall stand as a nation to guide the destiny of our generation, to sing and praise the glory of our land. every bit of tutu belly. I hear my mother's call. And oh, tutu kane and Mauna Kea, send the love to all. To stand as one beneath the sun. Blessings from Hālawa and our sweet Kala. And by Ale, where the greatest waterfall. No Hawaii loa, kulike kako, kupame kaloka hie, kukalame ka ibole. Oni paakako, alana kila na kini eola, eola, eola na kini Hawaii loa, kulike kako, kupame kaloka hie, kukalame ka ibole. Oni paakako, alana kila na kini eola, eola, eola na kini Hawaii loa, kurike kako, kupame kaloka hie, kukalame ka ibole. Oni paakako, alana kila na kini eola, eola, eola na kini.
On behalf of the Ching, everybody, aloha kikai kikai. Mai poina kumo iwa ilili o kalani mina tupuna. Kuli kanu holomoa la hui avai. And stay brown, everybody. Stay brown. Aloha.
Oh, never mind. They changed their mind.
They lived their life.
Changed their mind.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get them now. Yeah, you gotta get. There's a lot that could be said.
Here's what?
My phone. It's somewhere.
Did you get it after it was by Dad? Somewhere else.
And then it died. And then it was somewhere else.
Yeah, I remember when they used to go up there.
Yeah.
I used to go, Jesus.
Well, we went up there and he was there.
He was there.
He was there. We
was
saw
there.
him.
We saw him.
We in fact, there's pictures.
Yeah.
He was up there.
Model for taking the Hawaii with us.
This bugger. and he was doing just the kind of things that he would do. Like he was over Kaliko, the other Uncle Kaliko. Yeah, he was like like kind of like like he was telling him what to do.
Right above.
You know. And then on this side, and then over here, and then
That's just side. You got to include in Candace's thing. You got to find more metaphors.
It's in our pictures.
It is.
There's a lot more metaphors there.
You can just feel his mana.
Be careful, feeling the mana. It's like you come in over there, and you go get all over again. The bugger.
He didn't get to meet.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Where'd you meet him?
Well,
Where'd you meet him, Uncle?
That's his mom.
Yeah.
We met a few times.
Thank you for your words for the ohana. That was so perfect.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I know.
Like nobody says it, so I feel like you've got it. It's like everybody feels it, but don't always say it, you know.
And my mom was a community person, and I missed her, and I know that feeling, and you know that feeling.
Oh, there's the flag. Yeah, Baron.
Someone is
Yep.
running. I'm not the same.
Is that the one?
But
Which one?
you know,
Yeah, these are the ones. No, you know, oh, that's a bit to manage. A bit. But these guys, yeah, those are the two over there.
Logistics. All the logistics.
Yeah, I got rid of my big car. Now I get the small car.
Oh, okay. You get excuse.
It's an 18-foot pole. I cannot fit on top of the car.
You gotta think of a way. Maybe staple them together like those bamboo ones over there.
Well, we'll see. One of these days, we'll figure out something.
Look at my metal stand over there. You will see them.
Which one?
These things, even if
Holding
it's
up the light.
stupid, or wanting these things, computer one.
Well, I don't know. Because these things get a lot of force. The other shear.
It's gonna get torn apart.
Anyway, I mean,
That one requires.
Is that the one that you guys held? I mean, as big as that? Okay, a little bit bigger.
It's huge.
Okay.
What happened was that his ohana said, "Oh, we want to make a flag like that," but they didn't know the size. My big one is 6x12. Oh, how about 8x16? Okay, you know that's like about 30% more material. Like
Yeah.
stuff is heavy,
And you guys brought it all the way up there.
Pardon?
You guys brought the other one all the way up there, the 6
Oh yeah, the 6x12.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is like
oh, wait.
that's like 30%, 40% bigger. It's like, and you know when the wind catches that, you
Yeah.
need 4 people just.
Yeah, I saw when you guys first went up there.
You saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
it.
like 5
Like,
people
yeah,
holding
I
it.
saw. I said you succeeded, just like Everest. You know, kind of like.
Oh yeah, that stuff is like something else, man.
It's tough. It's tough getting up there, and then you have.
Yeah, ever since I got the altitude sickness, I go, I don't know about going up there, but
Yeah.
we'll see. One of these days, be back up there.
Yeah, Mauna Kea, it's the highest point.
In the Pai'aina. In the Pakipika.
Also in the world, the tallest.
Yeah, if you come from the base.
Yeah.
Bottom of the ocean, yeah.
That's true.
So, anyway,
But
good
yeah.
to see you.
Good to see you, and thank you, Baron.
We all.
Hey, with the high, how about you? You gotta hold on.